Okay guys, welcome back to Everyday Art by Brittany Gunter. We're going to do a little experiment. First off, I have two 9x12 canvases. They're both canvases that I wanted to redo, to re-pour over. We mixed these paints, the new acrylics that we got. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. I mixed these. 1 part paint, 2 parts floetrol, and 1 tiny cap off of these water bottles of water. And we have 19 colors. I'm going to pour the same color, same amount of each color in each cup. The only difference is one canvas will be painted with a mixture of white flow acrylic paint and floetrol, and the other canvas will have a base of just floetrol, and then we're going to see how the paint reacts to the two different bases. I've been told that putting floetrol on your canvas, not floetrol in white but regular floetrol, creates the cells larger, that stay together better. So we're going to test this theory out. So first things first, we're just going to start with the colors. And I'm just going to put as close to equal parts of each as I can in here. I'm going to need a stir stick. I'm going to make sure it's pretty equal. There were 20, let's see, 24 colors in the container. I did not mix all of them because I didn't want multiple browns, multiple blacks. So I'm going to put lids back on these as I go because there is still going to be some paint in most of them. I'm going to try to watch the sides and kind of make sure that I keep them as even as possible with each color as I go. This is a different yellow. Some of the colors have multiple shades, so you'll see that as we go. There's no silicone in any of these colors. Floetrol, paint and water, that's it. No silicone. I will list each color down below in the description, but in order to make this video semi-short so it's not too overly long, I'm not going to sit here and dig out the names of each of the colors as I go. might have had a goop in it. In this cup, if it did, I will get it out when we pour. I'm not sure if I just poured it too fast or if there was a goop. We will find out eventually. And the last two colors going in are black and white. And I did that because I want to put the white in last so that it kind of sinks through while I'm doing the base coat on both. And the cups are pretty even. This one cup has just a slight bit more. So I'm going to set these cups to the side. I'm going to do a base of the white and floetrol mixture on this one. So we're going to set that to the side, and we're going to, let's see, just kind of move what I can. I'm trying to do it semi-fast because I know this phone's not going to record a super long video. I can't wait till February 29th when I can start doing lives again, you guys. February 28th. There's not 29 days in February, people. I can always do the edges later. Let me pour a little bit more on here. Pour some at the edges. There we go. Get that out of the way. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be tilting. Come on, paint, get on the corner. Okay, there we go. I'm going to set that there. And then on this one, I'm just going to do straight floetrol. I don't want to waste floetrol, so I'm going to use a different knife because I don't want to contaminate the floetrol with the white paint. This is going to be interesting, you guys. It may not work at all. But if it does work, and it's gorgeous, and I didn't want to just do it and say it works because this is a new paint. So I wanted to actually do side by side and see. That way you can see that it's not just because it's a higher grade paint than I usually use. If this does work, then it is in fact, you know, the floetrol, if there's a difference between the two. Okay, so let me push that off. I really do not like using all this floetrol, but if it turns out awesome, then it's going to be worth it. You know what I mean? This second painting in the way is kind of, it's just kindly in the way. Okay, so I'm going to set that palette knife to the side, put a lid on the floetrol, and just tilt it a little and see if that helps. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try to focus in. And that's not big enough to do that. So we're just gonna, didn't quite do. There was a lot of paint in those cups. Okay, so We're going to let them sit for just a minute. There's a huge bubble. I'm just going to pop it with my finger. Okay. We're going to sit for a minute. No silicone in any of this paint. And then we're just going to pull up and back. I'm going to set that up. I'm going to tilt it this way just a hair. Just keep it from running off the edge. Same thing, up and back. Then I'm going to set this paint on top of this other cup so that they run into the same cup. And while they're moving, I'm going to torch. I will say right away, I see a lot more cells in this, and these colors do look more vibrant. So I'm going to tilt this one first because I flipped it first. Looks like orange took over, and I put the colors in the same order. You guys saw that. The same amount of each. Get a paper towel real quick. Because I want to be able to do this all in one video so you guys can see. And don't say, you know, anything was done wrong. Okay, and then on this one, I definitely like this one better. There's too much paint on it is the reason I'm tilting it a little bit more. It'll never dry with that much paint on it. Okay, let me clean my hands off one more time and I promise we will torch and see how it goes. Now I didn't really get cells with either, but I also didn't use silicone. And I do believe the lady that did this testing uses silicone. So, I did get some cells over here. So we may do this test again with silicone at some point. But I'm going to pull you guys down before my phone turns off. And here they are side by side. There are some cells popping up in this one. There are plenty of cells and lacing in this one, especially in the corners where the floetrol really hit. See that there? So I'm wondering if I put you guys up, if I can get you guys in here with one hand. I'm wondering if I tilt this one more because of the floetrol, if it's going to bring out some cells. Probably not because there's no silicone. But I do need to check each of them real quick and make sure, because there is quite a bit of paint still left here. Okay, so two very different outcomes. I want to try this using silicone, so I'll probably do the exact same thing again later this week and put silicone in all the colors. And if the camera will stay on, I'm just going to leave the camera on. And because I'm watching more cells pop through where the silicone is. So I'm pretty much just going to sit here and leave the camera on until it turns itself off. Actually, I might have to turn it off and then come back. So I took the 2 cups of paint and set them upside down in each other so that all the paint from the top one goes in the bottom one. And then later on this week, we'll do a pour with all the excess paint. So it's interesting, definitely. I'm going to bring you guys down again if I can from this chair.